What's up, guys? It's Taylor here from the Always Been Fishing crew, and I just want to bring you guys a little monthly offshore report here and kind of a freebie of sorts to show you guys. If you don't know, we just launched our website, the Always Been Academy. You can check it out at alwaysbeen.com. And we're going to have all kind of tools, resources for anglers, both inshore and offshore. But right now with this offshore season, we're really focusing on these offshore reports. So this is going to be kind of a freebie or demo just to show you guys a little bit of what we do and an update on the offshore scene here. As you may have heard or know, we've had a slow start here to the summer tuna season. You can see this picture here was wrecker sport fishing. They've been getting on them the last couple days, getting some nice tunas there, and you can see here, this is a recent shot from, I believe this was Rolf's, just an overall shot of the northeast canyons here. We're focusing on the mid-Atlantic canyons, so from about the Wilmington to the Norfolk. We've been seeing, like I said, a slow start to the tuna season this year, but it's slowly starting to pick up. You can see this eddy up here in the north. These guys up in Jersey and New York have had absolutely epic fishing, some of the best they've seen in years. From Tom's to Hudson all the way up here into the fishtails, and it's just crazy, that eddy there. It's probably going to have them, they're going to have some good fishing for a while up there, but we do have some little eddies peeling off the Gulf Stream here and forming down in our canyons, and hopefully this will eventually either break up and pieces of it will push south, or the whole thing will push south down the 100 line into our canyons, but it should continue to pick up here as we progress into summer. We also had John Henry out on the Real Chaos. They got a 200-pound big eye, which is awesome. Sweet to see that. And yeah, so getting right into the report. Let me start with the temperature first. Here's an SST shot. So what we're looking at here, this is the Poor Man's, Baltimore, and then you got the Wilmington and the Spencer up here. We have the temperature range set from 65 to 82, and basically these areas I highlighted here are just areas where there is a temperature break. So, this orangish, yellowish water is going to be closer to probably, I'd say, 76 to 78 degrees, depending how dark orange it gets, and then this greener water is closer to about 71 degrees. So just looking for those temperature breaks here. You see here I circled an area that's outside the Baltimore, east of the Baltimore, and I know a lot of guys have been catching in that general area. There's 500 to 1,000 fathoms outside the Baltimore Canyon, so it's about that area. That's where I see the best temperature break. There's also a piece of green in here just north of the Poor Man's, closer into the 100 line, and then also up here outside the Wilmington and just to the north of the Wilmington, up near the Spencer, there's also some cooler water in there. And it's awesome when we can, as we get further into summer and this water is heating up everywhere, the temperature breaks get harder and harder to see on the SST shots. So it's nice when you can see them like this, and it also lines up with the blue water, the chlorophyll shot. There wasn't a good true color shot the last couple days, but this is the most recent chlorophyll shot, and as you can see, the blue water pushing in from the Gulf Stream and further offshore, right in the same area east of the Baltimore there, in 500 to 1,000 fathoms. So I don't think it's any coincidence that that's where the fish are being caught, in that cooler, bluer water. Just like we were saying a week or two ago, that's where Jeff was finding them also down south when he was fishing in the Washington and the Norfolk. And yeah, they were in that cool, bluer water. You can see it's the same areas. It's harder to see, but this real green, that's the dirtier green water. So anywhere you have a shade of blue, that's why it's the same area just north of the Poor Man's and the same general area outside the Wilmington, and even up north of the Baltimore, closer to the 100 line here, you've got some bluer water. And then we also take into factor the salinity. Like I said, I don't think it's coincidence. You can see here, same areas. You've got a big, push of salty water coming in right here, and then also down here shooting in towards the Poor Man's. It appears to me, I'm still learning and studying a lot about the salinity and how it affects the fish, but it looks like these edges. So you have this less salty water in here, and then the saltier water pushing in, and it seems like those edges of the salinity rips, or whatever you want to call that there, that push of salty water, it seems like the edges of it are the same areas where we see those temperature breaks, and we see the bluer water is coming in right into here, east of the Baltimore. And yeah, if you follow the altimetry also, you can really see how the current's pushing that super salty water in. And I think that's something to consider and take into account when you're out there. Never hurts to check these things out. And like I said, salinity is something I'm starting to keep better and better track of, just to see how it affects these fish. There's been studies done. I know guys a lot in the south, down in the Gulf, they look for that fresh water pushing into real salty water, and they fish these edges of the salinity break, where salty water's meeting with fresh water. So something to keep in mind. But if you guys are thinking of going out in the next couple days, I'd say the Baltimore is a safe bet. You could start in here towards the tip, because as you can see, there is a little piece of blue water in here. Let's go back to the SST shot. So less of a temperature break in there at the tip of the Baltimore, but you could start up in here or down in here on the 100 line south of the Baltimore. And I'd probably work east, work towards, unless you start seeing life or finding fish in here. Captain Bob Layton of the Record did say he caught some fish the other day in green water, in on the 100 line, dirty green water. So they could be in there. You could start in there and just work east, troll towards life, look for those temperature breaks, and I'd say that's a pretty safe bet. The Poor Man's, Baltimore. If you can make it up to the Spencer, I think that'd be a gamble that I personally be willing to take if I was taking my own boat out. I think there could be some high fish activity up near the Spencer. I know it's a far run for us, but it is doable. And between the temperatures and the blue water, right in this area here, you might not even need to go all the way to the Wilmington. And then the Spencer's further up here, so that blue water, there was some blue water over in this area. I couldn't get in the shot without zooming out, but I want you guys to be able to see the low RAN numbers. But the safest bet's going to be the Baltimore. As you can see here, these three little zones I circled all look like great areas to work. Keep in mind it is a little deceiving the way these shots are. It's a bigger area than it seems, but definitely able to cover an area like this in a day of fishing, whether you choose this area or one of your own. There's blue water all through here and temperature breaks all through here, and this stuff's always changing too, guys. So you can get on and take a look, whether you use whatever websites you use. That's up to you. Tools, resources you use. I'd love for you to use our website as one, but there's a lot of great companies out there that also have SST shots and other data you can use, and that's a lot of what we show you on the Always Ben Academy. Once you become a member, we've got all those tools and resources in there, and a more detailed, in-depth breakdown of how we get these shots and how we adjust the parameters and the settings, whether it's the temperature or just searching for the right shot on a clear day that's accurate, all that good stuff. And like I said, getting into salinity more and the altimetry and the currents and the way they move around the structure and the canyons. And it's especially been a learning experience for me. Jeff is the expert oceanographer. He's been doing this for a while and really figured it out. So it's awesome for me to learn and figure all this stuff out and really put it all together. It's neat. It's really neat too how it affects the inshore fishing. Looking at this year, the cobia they've had down here at the tunnel, and the sheep's head were here super early, and we kind of directly correlated it with, there was early in the season a strong push of Gulf Stream water coming around the bend. This is a bad map to show you guys what I'm talking about, but imagine down here to the south where Hatteras is, coming around that bend, there was water pushing in to the west inshore off the Gulf Stream. Most of it was flowing its normal route, but you can see the Norfolk's been heated up down here. It's been hot, and inshore the Norfolk all down here, and it's just neat putting all that stuff together. Speaking of inshore, you guys in smaller boats or that like fishing those inshore lumps and shoals, now would probably be a good time to start searching spots like the Jack Spot, Hot Dog, Parking Lot, the Ham Bone, all those inshore spots. Not like the Fenwick Shoal. I doubt we have anything right off the beach here, but anywhere in that mid-range, halfway between us and the canyons. I bet there's some tuna mixed in, especially if you're going to do that. I would head south. I would go right down into this area here, and yeah, anywhere inshore, the Washington or Norfolk, I think you got a good shot of finding some life there. We found some blue water when we were running in one day, and we didn't stop very long, but we did see flying fish, and it was very blue water, and chances are there was probably some tuna in there. But yeah, that's a quick little report here for the month of July. Today is July 6th, so good luck to anyone fishing, and tight lines, guys.